Here, dot, in the damp leaf litter of the forest floor, a creature crawls. Armored, segmented. This larva bears little resemblance to the being of light. It is destined to become. It is a hunter, specialized and ruthless. Tracking the chemical trail of a snail, dot, it strikes with sharp mandibles, dot, injecting digestive enzymes to consume prey many times its own size. Once fed, the larva turns away from the surface world. It seeks the soft earth, burrowing downward to prepare for a profound biological change. Buried in the dark, dot, it constructs a protective chamber from mud. Inside, the body contracts, the skin hardens, and the silent work of metamorphosis begins. Within this casing, a complete dissolution takes place. Old tissues liquefy, reassembling at the cellular level, engineering complex organs capable of producing light. Above, the heavy rains of the monsoon saturate the forest floor. The water filters through the soil, but the mud cell holds, shielding the delicate process within. The earth softens, and the barrier breaks. The adult firefly pushes its way to the surface, emerging pale and vulnerable, dot, into the cool night air. It ascends a single blade of grass. Hemolymph pumps into the veins, slowly expanding the crumpled wings, hardening them for the first flight, and then ignition in the abdomen. Luciferin reacts with oxygen, producing a cold, efficiency light. The signal is active. It leaves the Earth behind, rising into the dark canopy. It broadcasts a code, a specific sequence of flashes. This pattern is a language of light. Day, signed to locate a single, compatible mate in the vast darkness. He is not alone. The air is filled with rivals and dangers. He must navigate carefully, avoiding the silent webs that wait for those distracted by the search. A response from the shadows below. A female. The male descends, their signals synchronizing in the dark, leading to the final act of their life cycle. The mission is complete. The energy gathered in the mud is finally spent. The light begins to fade. He falls back to the leaf litter, but he leaves behind a legacy, hidden in the soil, waiting for the rain to return. The Badlands. A scorching arena where mercy evaporates with the morning dew. Fadal scouts patrol the perimeter, small, blind, but bound by an unbreakable code. Discipline. But in this desert, silence is a lie. The ground trembles. Something ancient has awoken. The Emperor Scorpion. A living tank, armored in chitin, armed with death. First contact. The scouts are crushed before they can scream. But the signal is sent. War is declared. The colony answers. The big-headed soldiers emerge. They are not built for speed. They are built for slaughter. The tactic is simple. Overwhelm. A sea of mandibles against a mountain of armor. The Titan fights back. Each sweep of the tail claims a dozen lives. But for every fallen soldier, 2 take its place. They don't need to kill the beast instantly. They just need to pin it down. Strength in numbers. The physics of the swarm. The stinger strikes. Venom melts the front lines. It is a massacre, but the line holds. While the infantry dies, the special ops climb. They seek the chink in the armor. Target acquired. Inject. The neurotoxin floods the Titan system. The mountain crumbles. The tank runs out of fuel. The god of the sands falls. To the victor go the spoils. The enemy becomes the fuel for the next generation. The sun sets on the battlefield. Order is restored until the next intruder comes.
In the vast wilderness, a solitary figure moves with lethal purpose. This is the Polyergus scout. Her antennae sweep the air like radar, hunting not for food, but for an empire to conquer. She finds it, a bustling city of black ants, unaware of the doom watching them. The scout lowers her abdomen, painting a potent pheromone trail. A chemical highway leading her sisters straight to this doorstep. Back at the fortress, the message is delivered via frantic tactile code. She drums her antennae against the guards, transmitting coordinates. It is the spark that ignites the powder keg. The colony wakes up. The earth seems to bleed. Thousands of red warriors pour out, a crimson tide of chitin and fury, flooding the landscape with a terrifying intent. Look closer at their arsenal. Curved scythes, honed by evolution, not to build, but to pierce enemy armor. Biomachines built purely for war. They march in lockstep along the invisible chemical highway. No chaos, no hesitation. The rhythmic vibration of thousands of legs creates a low hum of doom. At the black ant nest, the sun is blotted out. A giant shadow falls. The scent of danger arrives, split seconds before the red wave crests. Contact. The raid begins with a snap. A defender rushes forward, but fails. The Amazon strikes, piercing the head with surgical precision. One strike, one kill. Chaos erupts, black versus red. While the black ants panic, the red army fights with cold discipline. A steel phalanx cutting through a disorganized mob. In a final act, workers throw their bodies across the entrance. A living barricade, willing to die to buy mere seconds. A heartbreaking display of loyalty. But biology is cruel. The barricade breaks. The red flood pours down, unstoppable. The defense has failed. The invaders are now inside the walls, deep underground. The air is heavy with fear. The invaders navigate the labyrinth with terrifying speed. Their antennae locked onto one scent, the smell of the future. They ignore fleeing adults and food. They rush with singular focus, every turn calculated, every step closer to the heart of the colony. The brood chamber, the kingdom's treasure, thousands of white pupae, stacked like gems. The next generation, sleeping, guarded by terrified nurses. Pandemonium. Nurses grab the pupae, a desperate race against time. Maternal instinct screaming against the arrival of the monsters. The raiders strike. Mandibles wrench the white cocoons from the defenders. A violent tug of war for the fate of a generation. Amidst chaos, a warrior lifts a pupa high, larger than herself, yet she hoists it with pride. She turns. The raid is over. The extraction begins. The tide reverses. The red river flows back, now speckled with white, leaving behind a hollowed chamber, carrying away the victim's hope. Under the golden sunset, the victors return. A majestic, terrible procession. Red warriors burdened with white cocoons. A decorated legion returning from a crusade. Back at the ruins, survivors emerge in twilight. They tap the ground, searching for sisters lost forever. The silence is deafening. Yet, look at the raiders. On difficult terrain, they help each other. When one stumbles, another assists. Brotherhood, even among thieves. They descend into their nest, carrying the cargo with eerie tenderness, placing pupae into nurseries, not as food, but as precious adoptees. Days pass. A white cocoon stirs. Silk tears open. A young black ant emerges, soft and innocent, blinking into the strange darkness. An Amazon worker licks the newborn clean, coating her in the colony's scent. Instant chemical brainwashing. The young ant looks at her enemy and sees only one thing: mother. High in the canopy, a fortress hangs suspended. Woven from living leaves, the green ant nest dominates the skyline. Construction requires teamwork. Workers link legs, forming living chains to pull the edges of the world together. But they lack glue. For that, they need the children. A worker wields a larva, like a living shuttle. Silk flows. The gap seals. The fortress is secure. A shadow watches from below. Not an ant, but an imposter. A mimic spider, waving legs to fake antennae. It joins the line, mimicking the jerky rhythm of the colony perfectly. A checkpoint. The soldier taps with antennae, checking the chemical ID card. Life or death. Access granted. The soldier moves on. The wolf is now inside the sheepfold, into the dark nursery, eyes gleaming at the defenseless pile of future generations. Suddenly, work stops. A collective pause. The branch shudders. Something massive has landed. Knock, knock. The sound of doom. Dust rains from the ceiling. Red alert. Jaws open wide. Even the imposter knows fear. It flattens itself against the wall. Impact. A giant beak spears through the wall. The seal is broken. Deadly sunlight burns the brood. A sticky pink worm sweeps the floor, abducting dozens. Save the babies. Workers scramble, dragging the white treasure deeper into the shadows. Another strike. The structure groans. The spy barely hangs on, blinded by dust, deafened by the Titan's screech. Hell on earth. Deploy the Legion. A golden river floods the surface. Attack the giant. Bite the skin. Fire at will. Acid fills the air. Too much pain. The Titan retreats. The sky is clear. Silence returns, heavy and dusty. A shaft of light marks the scar on their home. Chaos is an opportunity. The imposter grabs an egg. Time to vanish. Not so fast. The guards are vigilant. The circle closes. No mercy for traitors. Stretched, sprayed, executed. The war is over. The work remains. The living chains form again. The living shuttles return, stitching the wounds of the fortress. Battered but unbroken, the empire endures.
Deep beneath the desert, a fortress of living bodies hangs in darkness. These are the repletes, suspended like chandeliers, their abdomens swollen with liquid amber. It is a time of peace. Nutrients flow from sister to sister in a sacred exchange, a delicate lifeline that sustains the empire through the drought. Row upon row, the living batteries wait, a vast reserve of energy.fr, agile, immobile, and utterly vital. Below, soldiers patrol with a languid rhythm, sensors sweeping the cool air. The world above feels 1,000,000 miles away. But near the entrance, the wind carries a warning. A scout freezes. Her sensors pick up a scent that shouldn't be here. A rival empire. Panic ignites. She sprints into the dark, screaming a chemical alarm. The giant wakes. The colony transforms into a war machine. Hundreds of soldiers flood the arteries, marching to meet the threat. And then they appear. Carpenter ants, titans armored in obsidian black. Their shadow swallows the red defenders. First contact. A honeypot soldier throws herself at a leg thick as a tree trunk. Courage collides with overwhelming mass. The black tide bulldozes in. Stones overturn. Tunnels widen. The earth itself trembles under their invasion. Defenders lock heads, forming a living wall. But the pressure is immense. The line buckles, splintering like dry wood. It is a massacre. Mandibles shear through soft armor. Bodies crushed with a sickening crunch, tossed aside like debris. Like a virus, they push past defenses, heading straight for the colony's heart. The map is being redrawn in enemy colors. Retreat. Workers collapse a supply tunnel, sacrificing a limb to save the body. Dust seals the route, but someone must buy time. A small squad stays behind at the final bottleneck, knowing they will not see the sunrise. One soldier stands alone against 3 giants. Broken armor, missing leg, yet she screams defiance in the face of death. The wave crashes over her. The rear guard is extinguished. Their bodies become stepping stones for the conquerors. Deep in the vault, repletes swing violently, helpless treasures sensing the vibration of doom. Terror ripples through the chamber. The door is breached. Invaders enter the sanctuary. Hunters' darkness against the golden light of the prey. But a mother protects her brood. Nowhere left to run. The remaining honeypots attack with desperate fury. Chaos. 3 defenders drag a giant down, swarming, pinning, biting. Weight and numbers become the weapon. A meat grinder beneath the hanging treasures. Limbs torn, bodies piling up. A gruesome carpet below the pristine amber. The invaders falter. Confined space. Suicidal defense. Their size becomes a curse. They turn. The titans retreat. Silence returns. Dust settles on the fallen. Friends and foes united in death. But look, one replete shines, unharmed. A wounded soldier drags herself to keep watch. The amber light endures.
This jungle is just a single leaf. To a ladybug, ladybug crawls on leaf vein are mountain ranges. Time for maintenance. Every sensor on the ladybug clean's antenna must be clean. A scent. Sugar. The hunt begins. Ladybug scrambles over bump with speed. Aphids. A buffet of oblivious aphids sucks sap. Strike. Ladybug bites aphid, ending a life undetected. A miniature apex predator, ladybug consumes prey, but confidence breeds carelessness. The sun vanishes. Cold shadow darkens leaf. Pressure drops. A titan. Gecko eye stares. The leaf shakes violently. Jaw muscles coil. Pink tongue hits leaf. A clumsy ladybug slips sideways. Saves a life. Death misses by millimeters. Scramble. Panic. Ladybug flips over. It locks on again. Under the vein. Invisible. Giant gecko nostril sniffs the fear. Don't breathe. Ladybug pulls legs in. The titan loses interest. For now, creeping to the edge, it sees only one way out. Gravity. Jaws snap at empty air. A rough landing, but alive. Dust off. The mission continues. Just another day in the undergrowth. Deep beneath the earth, a city thrives. Thousands of workers move in perfect unison. Amidst the flow, a giant stands guard. Miners crawl over the soldier, dwarfed by its massive frame. At the heart lies the future. The swollen queen rests, heavy with life, protected by her devoted daughters. Suddenly, the rhythm breaks. Dust falls from the ceiling. A low hum vibrates the walls. The ground shakes violently. Instinct takes over. Soldiers rush to the entrance, jaws open wide. Daylight pierces the dark. A black claw stabs down. Chaos erupts. The claw smashes the earth, crushing everything. Resistance is futile. Jaws slide off the hard armor. Then comes the Reaper. A pink tongue slithers in. No escape. Bodies stick to the deadly mucus. In a blink, they are gone. The tongue retracts instantly. Deep below, the priority shifts. Workers grab white larvae, running for their lives. The legacy must survive. The heavy queen drags herself, pushed by her colony, but not everyone makes it. Debris blocks the path. The rearguard turns. Soldiers form a living wall, buying time with blood. They bite the invading flesh, the ultimate sacrifice. The tunnel collapses, sealing the doom above. Silence returns to the deep. Dust settles on the floor. In the gloom, a pulse remains. The queen huddles with the survivors. The colony is wounded, but alive. A worker grooms the queen.
High in the canopy, a vertical empire bathes in dappled light. A jumping ant patrols the leaf edge. Giant eyes scan for movement. Target acquired. Muscles coil like springs. The abdomen wiggles in anticipation. Launch. Mandibles snap shut midair. The wind dies. A massive shadow swallows the light. From the green wall, a titan emerges. Scythes folded in prayer, ready for blood. Drop the prize. Freeze. Motion is a death sentence. The triangular head rotates. Target locked. Strike. A millisecond dodge, retreating to the stem. The path is blocked by a wall of green armor. The titan advances, crushing the terrain with indifferent weight. Chaos pattern. Zigzag jumps to break the visual lock. Dead end. The leaf edge drops into the void. The scythes rise high. The executioner prepares the final blow. Defiance. He turns and opens his jaws. The giant pauses. Confusion disrupts the hunting algorithm. Legs compress, calculating the trajectory. Launch. Falling into freedom. Impact. A tumble onto the lower branch. Safe. High above, the shadow turns away. The hunt is over. Dust off. Grooming the sensors, the guardian remains. The canopy is still his. In the canopy, nothing is as it seems, just another leaf dancing in the breeze. Until the leaf walks, a master of disguise reveals itself. The wind is its conductor. It sways in perfect harmony with the branch. Silence falls. Time to eat. A cannibalistic snack on its own kind's likeness. Every step is a calculated risk. Slow, deliberate. A killer emerges. The mantis scans for any disruption in the pattern. Freeze. Raise a leg. Become the dead stem. Contact. The hunter touches, but feels only a leaf. Death strikes elsewhere. The shadow passes. Exhale. The leaf breathes again. Safe for now. Darkness falls. A titan descends from the sky. Talons grip the branch. Death is inches away. The beak strikes. Once, twice. Chaos. Flatten. Become the vein. Don't breathe. Don't move. Snatch. Gone. The wind screams in its wake. Stillness remains. The storm has passed. Time to shed the fear. The old skin cracks, pulling free from the past. A vibrant, perfect, green emerges, reborn, hanging in triumph. The wind is a friend once more, invisible, silent, one with the forest.
High in the canopy lies a fortress built of silk and secrets. The Weaver Ant Empire, secure, impenetrable. Or so they think. Their walls are welded by living glue. Every worker is a bricklayer. Every soldier, a guard. Inside the vault, the colony's future. Thousands of larvae, a treasure worth dying for. But no vault is perfect. Enter the Phantom, a parasitic wasp. She doesn't want to break in. She wants to slip in. Shadow protocol active. She moves between the guard's blind spots. One wrong vibration, and she is dead. The insertion. She plants her agent right in the nursery. A time bomb with a heartbeat. The perfect con isn't visual. It's chemical. The intruder larva releases a pheromone cocktail. A forged ID card. Deception complete. The ants don't smell an enemy. They smell their own queen. They feed the very mouth that will eat the gluttony in the dark. The imposter grows fat on stolen resources and stolen lives. The inventory doesn't add up. The colony senses a ghost in the machine. Panic spreads like a virus. The mask is slipping. The guest has become a giant, too big to hide. Code red. The scent disguise fails. The fraud is exposed. Justice is swift and acidic. 1,000 mandibles descend on the traitor. The trash is taken out. In this empire, the penalty for treason is gravity, breach contained. The workers repair the damage. The silk flows again. The vault is secure once more. But now, the guards are watching the shadows.
Storm clouds gather. The ancient mound waits. First drops hit dust. The signal activates. Thousands crowd the exits, ready to fly. One launches. Then a living pillar rises. A sky full of wings. Life mates in midair. A beak strikes. Chaos. She dives, dodging death by inches. He falls. Mission complete. Life ends. Alone now, she descends to alien world. A rough landing. Wings are burdened now. She twists, snaps. The sky is gone forever. 4 wings lie on dirt. No return. Just a scuttling insect now. Exposed. She digs. Jaws move earth. A sanctuary. She seals the door, shutting out world. Darkness falls. Total isolation begins. Buried alive, she waits in silence. Muscles dissolve. Flight becomes food. A drop of liquid. A garden begins. Her body shrinks. Starving for future, she cleans every egg. Devotion keeps safe. Movement. She helps them break free. First daughters emerge. Pale, tiny, alive. They groom her. The colony has started. A breach. Light returns. A leaf. Food. Life wins.
In the heart of the ancient forest, an emerald river flows against gravity. It is the leafcutter army.ca, rying the flags of a proud civilization. Listen closely. The crunch of organic scissors, jaws sharper than steel slice through veins, not tearing, but engineering. And then, the harvest descends into the abyss, deep into the earth, home to a megapolis built on instinct over millions of years. Welcome to the fungal gardens, a sprawling city of white gold. Here, thousands of tiny workers tend to the crops with the tenderness of mothers. But here, hygiene is not a luxury, it is the law. They groom each other obsessively, scrubbing away every speck of dust. For one tiny slip. Coul doom the empire. Outside the perimeter, worker 704 is on patrol. But today, the air feels different. A gust screams, carrying the hostile breath of the jungle, a soup of dust and death. And in that breath, a silent assassin rides. A single Ophiocordyceps spore lands softly on 704's leg. The countdown has begun. Back in the line, the perfect machine begins to glitch. A stumble, just a micro error. But in this world of order, it screams like a siren. Retreating to shadows, she tries to scratch an itch that isn't there, desperately scraping the invisible intruder. But too late, the enemy is under the skin. Then, the betrayal strikes. A violent spasm rips through her, forcing her to drop the burden. Legs disobey, and the collective gaze turns cold. A soldier approaches, a war titan with decapitating jaws, sweeping antennae over 704. It smells it, the chemical scent of sickness, the perfume of decay. The jaws open wide, a silent threat. Here, The individual is nothing. The colony is everything. 704 is no longer a sister. She is a ticking bomb. She understands. No trial. She looks back at the fungal gardens one last time. A moment of deep chemical melancholy. To save them, she must leave them. And so, the outcast turns, walking against the flow, a solitary black dot against a green tide, a tragic hero dot in a world of pure survival. The surface light burns. 704 stumbles out, leaving safety for the wild chaos. The city gates close behind. She is alone, utterly, terrifyingly alone. The night floor is a graveyard for the lonely. As she pushes deeper, the tremors return, violent. The fungus is no longer whispering dot, it is screaming. She is no longer the pilot. Her walk becomes disjointed, jerky, like a marionette dancing on the strings of a cruel puppeteer. The world twists, colors bleed. The fungus floods her brain with chemicals, rewriting reality. Up is down, and pain is purpose. Climb. The command echoes, ignoring her will. Despite exhaustion, despite hunger, she is forced to ascend. This is the summit disease. The fungus demands the high ground. Muscles scream, legs cramp, lock up, fighting the alien impulse. But the parasite dot, it is stronger than her 1,000 times over. Final command. Bite. 704's mandibles clamp onto the vein. Muscles lock instantly. The death grip. She is now a permanent statue. Light in her compound eyes fades. The struggle ends. 704 drifts into the void, suspended in the air. Silence returns to the jungle. But death is only the beginning. From her head, a stalk erupts, blooming beautiful and deadly, raining spores down. So the cycle continues.
High above the forest floor, where sunlight pierces the dense green ocean, lies a vertical kingdom. Here, gravity is the enemy, and altitude is the only defense. Welcome to the canopy, a world suspended in the sky. A scout reaches the precipice. To us, it's a small gap. To her, it is a canyon separating the colony from expansion. She measures the abyss with twitching antennae, calculating the impossible leap. She cannot bridge this alone. She raises her abdomen, releasing a silent scream into the wind, a pheromone flare that carries a singular command: assemble, and the Empire answers. From the shadows, a river of orange flows forth. Hundreds of workers march in perfect unison, a legion driven by a singular hive mind. They line up at the edge. No hesitation, no fear. They anchor their legs into the leaf, stretching their bodies over the emptiness, waiting for a connection. One reaches out, straining against physics, but the gap is too wide. The bridge fails. But failure here is not an end. It is merely data for the next attempt. Then, the miracle begins. One ant grabs another by the waist. A third grabs the second. A living chain forms, swinging in the breeze, defying gravity until the gap is conquered. Heave. If they had voices, they would be chanting. Chains contract, muscles strain. The sheer force of cooperation bends the architecture of the tree itself. But chains are temporary. They need permanence. Enter the larvae, the future. But today, tools. Gentle jaws carry the pale babies not to a nursery, but to the construction site. Squeezed gently, the larvae become living glue guns. Spinning silk in a hypnotic zigzag dance, they stitch leaves together, binding the empire with their own essence. But in the rainforest, peace is an illusion. The sun vanishes. Vibrant green turns to sickly gray. The horizon disappears behind a curtain of looming darkness. The wind arrives first, a battering ram. The entire nest, a castle of leaves and silk, begins to sway violently, groaning under the invisible assault. Inside, vibration signals chaos. Work stops. Sensors twitch. A silent alarm ripples through the colony like an electric shock. The enemy is here, and it is everywhere. Look closely at the silk. Thousands of delicate threads are screaming. Stretched to their limit, they vibrate, holding the leaves against the tearing force of the gale. Then, the bombardment. A single raindrop, heavy as a boulder, crashes into the nest. The impact reverberates, denting the leaf armor. The first shot of the deluge, the heavens open. The world is erased by a wall of white water. Not just rain, but an oceanic assault designed to wash the small from the face of the earth. Snap. The silk gives way. A seam bursts. Water, cold and relentless, pours into the nursery. The fortress has been breached. Red alert. No panic, only urgent action. Soldiers and workers rush towards the drowning darkness, fighting the current that threatens to sweep them away. They have no sandbags, only bodies. In supreme sacrifice, workers throw themselves into the breach, plugging the hole with heads and thoraxes, forming a living dam against the flood. Behind the living wall, the rescue team scrambles uphill. Gentle jaws carry the next generation away from the rising tide, seeking the dry sanctuary of upper chambers. The chain holds, but the cost is paid. One grip slips. A sister falls into the white chaos. She is gone, but her sacrifice buys them a millimeter of safety. Reinforcements arrive, layering over the strained chain. One line becomes a rope becomes a cable. A thick, pulsating muscle of insects defies the hurricane, and then silence. Rain ceases. Clouds part, revealing a golden sunset that sets fire to the millions of droplets clinging to the nest. On the glistening surface, soaked warriors groom themselves. Beside them, the bodies of the fallen remain, silent sentinels of the victory, repaired, scarred, but standing. The green fortress looms. They are not just bugs, they are bio-architects, rulers of the canopy, masters of their own destiny.
Here, beneath the low canopy, the air hangs heavy with moisture. On the decaying floor, a chaotic symphony of survival plays out in the microcosm. A housefly moves through this space, a blur of erratic energy. It lands, takes off, lands again, driven by a metabolism that demands constant, high-energy fuel. It tests a leaf, probing for sugar. Finding nothing, it pauses to groom before launching itself back into the hunt. Rising from the leaf litter, a structure of vivid crimson, the pitcher plant. In a world of frantic motion, it is perfectly, terrifyingly still. The rim glistens, wet with nectar. This sweet secretion is a siren song. Bra, ode casting a hyper-stimulating signal to every scavenger in the vicinity. The fly detects the scent. It circles, hovering to inspect the prize, before touching down on the smooth, inviting lip. Immediately, the proboscis extends. It drinks greedily, ignoring the treacherous nature of the surface beneath its feet. It shifts its weight, but the rim is coated in unstable wax crystals, a microscopic trap. The gripping pads find no purchase here. The feet slide. Balance is lost. Before wings can lift, gravity claims it. The insect tumbles into the dark throat. Impact. It hits the pool below. The fluid coats the wings instantly, weighing them down, making flight impossible. It swims for the wall, a desperate attempt to climb. But the vertical sides are lined with the same slippery wax, offering no hold for escape. Above, downward pointing hairs create a physical barrier. Every struggle burns vital energy, only sinking the prey deeper into the digestive mire. The frantic buzzing slows, then stops. The passive trap has conquered the active hunter. Through the simple, brutal laws of physics, movement ceases. The fly drifts to the bottom, where enzymes wait to dissolve the soft tissues. Its life becomes fuel, absorbed into the walls. The fly will nourish the stationary predator, ensuring its survival in this hungry forest. In the vertical city of the humans, real estate is hard to find. Meet the potter wasp, a single mother and an architect. She doesn't use bricks. She uses mud, carried one mouthful at a time. Buzz, press, repeat. The discipline of a master builder, but building on a sheer cliff is risky. One slip, and the nursery is gone. She's not alone. In the shadows lurks a squatter, a house spider. Usually, they be enemies, but today, a nod, a glance. Just two neighbors trying to survive the concrete jungle. Disaster. The giants are home. The foundation cracks. The wet clay is giving way. She holds on with all 6 legs, but gravity is winning. Suddenly, a lifeline. The spider steps in. Not to bite, but to brace. Silk nature's steel cables. Mud meets silk. An unlikely composite. She zaubs. He pulls. A frantic renovation do it. The shaking stops. The pot holds. A silent thank you buzzes through the air. The room is safe. She fills the pantry for her sleeping children, sealed with love, and a little extra web for insurance. Her work is done. She flies into the sun, trusting the guardian she leaves behind. In a cold corner of the city, a warm alliance stands firm.
Deep within the wall cavity, the ghost ant colony operates in perpetual darkness. Hundreds of individuals navigate the confined space, their antennae flickering constantly to exchange chemical signals, the only mechanism to maintain order in this crowded existence. At the center, the demand for energy is relentless. Worker ants move ceaselessly around the brood.com, propelled by biological drives to secure resources for the developing larvae. The hunger of the colony is a constant pressure. Driven by this necessity, a group of scouts separates from the mass. They move toward the faint light of a fissure, crossing the threshold from the safety of the nest.in to the unknown territory beyond. The scouts emerge onto a vast, sterile expanse, to a creature mere millimeters long. The kitchen floor is a desolate white plain, exposed under the harsh glare of artificial light. There is no cover here. The ghost ants move with frenzied, erratic speed, their tarsal claws struggling for grip on the smooth ceramic. Every second spent in the open dot increases the risk of desiccation or predation. To maximize efficiency, the group disperses. Each individual becomes a solitary sensor, scanning the vast surface. They are vulnerable. Insignificant specks against the scale of this environment. Then co-intact. A worker locates a cluster of sugar crystals dropped near the cabinet base. Immediately, it deposits a pheromone marker establishing a point of reference for the rest of the colony. The signal propagates quickly. Within minutes, a chaotic search transforms into a disciplined line. The pheromone trail becomes a chemical highway, guiding a stream of workers directly to the resource. Harvesting begins. Working in coordination, the ants manipulate crystals often heavier than themselves, Their mandibles clamp down, securing the energy-rich burden for transport back to the dark. Without warning, the substrate vibrates. Sensitive organs in the ant's legs register the seismic disturbance, a clear warning of a massive object approaching. The foraging line falters. A colossal scavenger enters the zone. It is a rat, searching for the same food scraps. For the ants, the displacement of air from its breathing alone is a turbulent force. A massive shadow falls over the trail. The rodent does not even register the insects, yet its sheer size threatens to obliterate the foraging line. They are operating in the shadow of a behemoth. The chemical trail is disrupted. Disoriented workers run in erratic circles, their navigational cues erased by the physical disturbance. The order of the colony.co lapses into local disarray. A biological imperative takes over, a survival. Some workers release their burdens to maximize speed, while others, driven by the scarcity of the prize.co, continue to drag the heavy crystals towards safety. The retreat is a desperate scramble. As the mammal's whiskers sweep the floor, the ants surge back toward the wall, putting distance between themselves and the massive disturbance. One final tremor shakes the floorboards. The last stragglers slip through the wall fissure, just as the external world becomes hostile. Back in the dark, the panic subsides. The survivors engage in trophallaxis, regurgitating liquid food to share with nest mates. The energy is secured. The colony survives another cycle. The sun bleeds into the horizon, casting distorted shadows on the dry earth. Alone at the gates, the queen infiltrator stands, a phantom with sickle mandibles, gleaming with a hunger for the throne. A sentry approaches, antennae twitching. The air is heavy, but she does not fight. She weaves a chemical spell, releasing a calming mist, a stolen scent of brotherhood masking the assassin within. The deception is absolute. The guard lowers its guard, blinded by the sweet lie. Moving like a shadow, the queen slips past, dissolving into the suffocating darkness of the tunnels. She descends into the abyss, walking among hundreds of executioners yet invisible. To them, she is a ghost. To the colony, a cancer, spreading to its heart. Every step is a gamble with death. The royal chamber. The host queen lies there, a titan of flesh walled in by guards. The air is thick with devotion. The usurper watches, small, sharp, violently contrasting the monarch's bloated grandeur. Chaos is her herald. She unleashes propaganda substance, a weapon of mass confusion. Guards turn on each other, loyalty twisted into madness. Order descends into a brawl of fratricide. Through the chaos, she strikes. A surgical leap. She mounts the giant mandibles, locking the neck like a vice. This is not a fight. It is an execution. The giant falls. The usurper holds ground, performing the grim rite. She feeds on the fallen, absorbing the essence of royalty, stealing the crown. Molecule by molecule, madness fades, replaced by terrifying acceptance. Workers approach, touching the assassin with reverence. The king is dead. Long live the king. They have a new master. Unaware they are now slaves. Days turn to dominion. The usurper sits on the stolen throne, birthing a new generation. Slaves tend her brood with blind devotion, nurturing the soldiers that will oppress them. A golden age, built on a lie. But the earth remembers. Vibrations shudder walls, An alien mud tube breaches the perimeter. Termites have arrived. Blind builders of destruction knocking at the gates. Alarm pheromones flood like invisible smoke. The queen senses the threat, commands total war. Her will becomes action. Order rises from instinct. Walls crumble. A white tide pours in. Soldiers with anvil heads and hydraulic jaws storm the nest. An invasion of numbers and brute force. A biological avalanche. Corridors become meat grinders. Slaves throw themselves into jaws to buy seconds. The queen descends into the fray, not a ruler, but a warrior, fighting for her stolen kingdom. Acid sprays melting chitin and flesh. The chemical stench is overpowering. Bodies pile into barricades. A war of attrition with no quarter given, cornered by 3 behemoths. The queen dances with death, severing a head, crippling another. Movements blurred in desperate violence. Bleeding leg crushed, but her fury remains unbroken. Queen of blood. Then the sky speaks. Thunder shakes the foundation, silencing the battle for a heartbeat. Light fades. Air grows heavy. A greater power has entered the fray. First drops fall like bombs. Craters explode. Soldiers crushed instantly by water's weight. War forgotten. Panic is the new commander. The flood arrives. Not a stream, but a brown serpent, devouring all. Tunnels collapse to mud. The colony's history erased in seconds. The queen is swept away, clinging to an enemy corpse. Now a raft, spinning in the vortex. A speck of life in chaos, fighting to keep breath above surface. Behind her, the nest implodes. Brood workers' stolen legacy, washed into oblivion. The empire ends not with a bang, but a gurgle. Sky's rage passes. Sun returns. Cruel, bright, illuminating devastation. Battlefield is a graveyard of mud and wings. Silence reclaims the land. Wet, shivering, the queen crawls onto a drifting leaf, looking out. No subjects, no slaves, no enemies, just void. The crown feels heavy, even when gone. She grooms her antennae, simple, profound, refusal to die. Instinct to kill now drives survival. She looks to high ground, disappearing into tall grass. Solitary once more, kingdom lost, but the game isn't over. As long as she breathes, the hunt begins anew. Under the relentless glare of the midday sun, the savanna transforms into an oven. Here, surface temperatures can soar past 50 degrees Celsius. A solitary dung beetle traverses this scorching terrain, moving in short, calculated bursts, pausing frequently atop cool stones to regulate its body temperature. Its antennae sweep the air, highly sensitive instruments locking onto a faint chemical signal from a fresh food source. Miles away, having located the prize, the beetle begins its labor. Using serrated forelegs like precision tools, it slices through the fibrous matter, separating exactly what it needs. It is an engineer at work, compressing, patting, sculpting the chaotic material into a perfect geometric sphere to minimize moisture loss. Before the journey, a moment of orientation, it climbs atop its creation, taking a snapshot of the sun to calibrate its internal compass for the path ahead. The trek begins in reverse, head down, hind legs driving backward, trusting entirely to tactile feedback from the uneven ground. But the path is rarely forgiving. A tangled root blocks the way, demanding a feat of leverage and raw strength to force the heavy load over the barrier. Momentum recovered, it resumes the steady rhythm. Speed is essential, for competitors are never far behind in this resource-scarce world. Suddenly, The earth shudders. Fine hairs on the beetle's legs register a rhythmic, heavy vibration. Approaching fast, a colossal shadow sweeps across the sand. Instinct overrides purpose. The beetle freezes completely, becoming one with the soil to avoid detection. As the titan fades into distance, silence returns. The beetle rescans the air, recalibrates, and the mission continues. Finally, soft earth, the beetle begins to excavate, digging a cool, dark chamber directly beneath its prize. Slowly, the sphere descends. Here, the moisture will preserve the food supply, a dedicated nursery for the next generation. Yet, this act carries a hidden consequence. A single seed, trapped within the dung, now lies planted in fertile soil, waiting for the rain.
A fortress of clay stands defiant under the scorching sun. The savannah burns in the heat. Inside, a city thrives in darkness. Thousands of workers march in rhythm, tending to their precious fungus gardens. In the nursery, the future is fed. Workers pass vital nutrients to the delicate, hungry larva. The sentry freezes. A strange chemical warning. Black smoke breaches the gates. Alarm. The colony scatters in panic. To the breach. Move. Now, using their own bodies and saliva, they seal the deadly vents. Some pay the ultimate price. Burned alive at their posts, the last hole is sealed. Darkness returns. The fire is locked out. Move the queen. She must survive at all costs, heaving the giant mother down the narrow corridors. A massive collective effort. The walls shake. Dust falls. They push her deeper into the safety of the abyss. Safe at last. By the cool underground spring, the queen rests. The lineage is preserved. Above, the world is ash. The fortress stands scarred, a black monument in a dead land. But deep below, silence reigns. The heart of the colony still beats rhythmically in the dark. A single scout breaks the seal. Tasting the outside air, the rebuilding begins. They clear the dead and reinforce tunnels, grain by grain. Life returns to the gardens. The flow of workers resumes, an endless river of life. The fortress stands. Nature endures.
Deep in the emerald silence of the rainforest, a fortress hangs suspended. A citadel woven not of stone, but of 1,000,000 living souls. Look closer. Every wall is a desperate grasp, claws hooked on chitin, holding fast against gravity in a trance of absolute discipline. Inside the dark heart, she reigns, the queen. Swollen with the colony's future, she is the sun groomed by frantic devotees. Life pulses through these corridors. Workers rush past, with ghostly white larvae guarding the next generation, with a ferocity that defies size. But the air thickens. The pressure drops. High above the wind howls like a beast. Sentries twitch, tasting the ozone of coming doom. It begins with a single warning. A drop, heavy as lead crashes down. Thud. The peace is shattered instantly. The sky rips open. A vertical ocean hammers the bivouac. Outer layers are stripped away, washing sisters into the abyss, but the core clings on. Evacuate. The order is silent, but absolute. Walls become legs. Ceilings become a march. The castle dissolves into a river of red, flowing with terrifying purpose. They spill out a carpet of fire cutting through the rising mud. The world is a slurry of chaos, yet they push forward like a scar on the earth. Priorities shift now. Workers hoist larvae, high bodies wading through muck to keep the white bundles dry. Maternal sacrifice in motion. A breach. Soldiers rush not to fight, but to become the dam. They plug the gaps with flesh, stemming the tide, so the brood may pass. The queen lumbers on, flanked by her guard. Rain batters them, but a phalanx of legs forms a moving shield for the colony's heart. Disaster strikes. The path ends at a chasm filled with a roaring torrent. Safety lies across a void of rushing death. No hesitation. The vanguard locks claws with roots dangling over the abyss. Gravity pulls joints scream, but they hold. A chain of willpower extends. It connects. A bridge formed of pain and instinct spans the gap. A marvel of engineering trembling under tension, defying the void. Violence. A surge strikes. The anchor fails. With a sickening tear, the bridge collapses, sweeping the column into the screaming vortex. Chaos, but not panic. Instinct takes over. They grab weave-lock legs. A spiraling raft forms in the torrent. They do not swim. They coalesce. Cruel physics. To save the queen, the bottom layers must drown. They hold their breath, a hull of martyrs, keeping the royal cargo dry above. But monsters lurk below. A shadow rises. A giant mouth opens. A predator strikes, tearing a chunk from the living raft. The void is horrifying. Fight back, soldiers clamp onto the Leviathan's lips, swarming even as they are swallowed. The raft spins damaged but unbroken, drifting from death by sheer stubbornness. The storm passes fast. The battered raft drifts into driftwood. Water calms. They have made landfall at last. The ball unfurls. Wet, exhausted bodies crawl onto wood. The air smells of survival. They groom immediately, restoring the colony's scent. The queen steps on dry land. Brood piles wiggle a euro alive. The future is safe. The cost was high, but the investment paid off. Golden hour. Cycle begins anew. Workers link legs. Foundations laid. A new castle rises from the day's ruins. A solitary soldier left behind. Broken mandibles twitch one last time. She won't see home. The brick that fell so the wall could stand. Pull back. The new bivouac stands impenetrable. Not insects, but a single immortal entity. The storm couldn't break it. Nothing can.
High above the water, a mother hovers. Her wings beat in a rhythmic blur, a delicate dance of life. She dips her abdomen, planting the seeds of the next generation. A ripple below. Danger rises. She dodges just in time. Tiny white pearls drift down, settling into the safe embrace of the roots. The shell cracks. A microscopic alien enters a hostile world. Transparent legs test the water. Instinct takes over in the deep green. A shadow passes. Freeze. Motion is death here. Strike! The mask shoots out. First blood. The hunter waits. Invisible among the weeds. Darkness falls. A titan approaches. The water trembles. The abyss opens. Vacuum strike. Jet propulsion. Blast off into the thicket. Heart pounding. Silence. The monster glides away. Survival is a game of inches today. A call from above. The water ceiling glows with promise. The ascent begins. Against gravity, breaking the barrier. First breath of air locked in place. The skin tightens. Vulnerable to everything, the armor splits. A new form rises, hanging by a thread. Gravity is the only friend now. A hunter approaches. 8 hairy legs, sensing the struggle. The final heave, pull free. Too late. The predator finds only a hollow ghost. Life has moved on. Fluid pumps into the veins. The crumpled map of the sky begins to unfurl. Glass wings harden. Eyes reflect the infinite blue. Engines on, liftoff. The sky belongs to the hunter now.